Hey, what's up guys? So we are going to be going over the best cards to come out of the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown Structure Deck, which is set to release next week into the TCG on the 11th. So I went ahead and did all the work for you guys, but if you guys want to check out the description box below, you can check out the full entire spoiler list. But basically I just did the work for you and I picked out the best cards that I think will see some play out of the structure deck. So first off, we got Golden Dragon Summoner. He's a light spellcaster level 4 that says you contribute one monster, then target one monster on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use this effect of Golden Dragon Summoner once per turn. I was thinking maybe you can use it in Heretics, because, you know, attributing them gets effects, and that's pretty good. In that deck, you don't really need your normal summon, technically. Although if you're playing a Pendulum version, you could probably OTK really hard anyways. But there's also this card, Aether the Empowering Dragon, which is another level 6 dragon, so it got me thinking that they're trying to be able to splash these in Heretic Rulers, maybe. But it says when this card is Pendulum Summon, you can target one card on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use this effect of Aether the Empowering Dragon once per turn. So being able to bounce back maybe 2 cards, you know, this one obviously only targets monsters, but this lets you target anything, and being able to bounce back things, you know, at certain times is very nice in the game. Bouncing back something like, I don't know, any of the Showdowns that only let you special summon once, you go ahead and bounce that thing back because it can't be destroyed. Things like Stardust Dragon also can't be destroyed. Well, it can be destroyed, but they're going to probably negate whatever is destroying it. So that's just a fun little card. I think that, you know, some decks might take use of this if you're playing a Pendulum deck. At least this one has a decent Pendulum effect that's not requiring, you know, a certain type of archetype. It's just like you just special summon it via Pendulum and you get to bounce one card. Next up, and I think this is the best card that actually comes in out of the entire structure deck, Supply Squad, formerly known as Supply Unit. Continuous spell card that says once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, draw one card. That's a pretty self-explanatory effect, but it's very, very good for slower anti-meta decks or just for decks that can kind of play the grind game. This is a fantastic card. But if you're playing something fast like Light Sworn or something like that, you probably don't need this card. But being able to get that free draw every turn is just so nice, especially if you have cards that can float into other cards, meaning Mystic Tomatoes, Pyramid Turtles, Zombies, just things that can go into other cards. You're going to be able to get a huge advantage off of Supply Squad, and I think a lot of different decks will be main decking this card in the future. And then lastly, we have the 2 Pendulums that come out of the structure deck that are pretty good. Stargazer Magician and Time Gazer Magician, because that gives you a pendulum scale of 2 to 7. If you don't know anything about the pendulums, I'll put a link down below in the description box as well if you guys want to understand how the actual pendulum mechanic works. Now, one thing that's really important, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon does not come out in this structure deck, which is unfortunate, but I figured I'd mention it because if you are more of a budget player, I almost can foresee this card being like one of those cards where it comes out in Ultimate, Ghost Rare, and Secret Rare, kind of like Star Eater. Or, I mean, it could be an Ultra Rare, but I don't think it'll be a Super Rare. I think they're going to put this card as an Ultra Rare, but it comes out in Duelist Alliance, which is set to release 1 month after, so I don't think Pendulums will be taking off immediately right after the structure deck comes out, because having Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon basically searches out the key cards to actually pull off your Pendulum Summon anyways, and I mean, if you're running triple and triple, you can have a lot of cloggy hands, and potentially you can have things that are just dead in the game. So I feel like you really need the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, which comes out in Duelist Alliance, and if you're, like I said, a budget player, I would kind of stay away from Pendulums unless we find out the rarities, because if it's going to be a secret rare or you know, a higher rarity, it'll be kind of discouraging for some players to pick up 3 copies of them too. But what's also really cool with this is you actually get, well, if you're in the English version comes with 2 packs with 5 cards each. The European version comes with 10 cards each out of this special power-up pack. There's nothing really too good in there, but I'll briefly go over it real quick. But I did want to mention, if you happen to have the option and you like darker print cards, the European versions will be a lot darker generally. That's usually how the European versions get printed. Also, you have a higher chance to get more of a variety out of the European pack, because just the way that the cards are printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! They're printed in a way where technically there's a cutoff point in different booster packs, so you might be getting the same card multiple times if you get the English version. So if you want more of a variety of cards, I would recommend you try to pick up the European version if you have the option. Both of them come out with the same number of cards. You basically get 10 cards each. For whatever reason, they decided, okay, the English one will get 2 packs of 5, and then the European version will get 1 pack of 10. I don't know why they decided to do that, but like I said, technically the way cards are printed, you have a higher chance of getting more of a variety if you get the European version. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over what comes out of that little booster pack that you get out of here. None of the cards are really too great out of it. I mean, you get an ultra rare Dark Hole, maybe, and there's also Odd-Eyes-Dragon. If you guys don't know what Odd-Eyes-Dragon does, I'll briefly go over him because I don't think we talked about him at all. His effect is if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster in the graveyard. And I was thinking, well, you know what you could do, since it does say half of the original attack, maybe you can shrink that monster, you can lance that monster, and you can potentially inflict a bunch of extra damage to your opponent. Also, one thing that just as a side note, which some people were getting upset about, they're printing first edition right below the card text, where, you know, Kazuki Takahashi, his name is. It's right over here if you guys can see my mouse. But, I just thought that that was kind of interesting. Not that it really matters for me. It looks weird. It makes the card not look like it's first edition. But anyways, out of that space-time power-up pack, you can get a chance to get... the only cards that are Ultra are the Odd-Eyes-Dragon and the Dark Hole. Then there's also Divine Wrath, Magic Cylinder, Call of the Haunted, Mirror Force, which is not too bad. Swords of Revealing Light, Reinforcement of the Army, the A-Forces, Injection Fairly, Amazon is Sage for I don't know what reason, Secret Crane, DeeDee Warrior Lady, Kurez the Light Monarch, and Des Volskov. I felt like these all should have been like an ultra rare. They all should have been foil, like at least give us something. But for the most part, I think Supply Squad will be the only card that is actually things that will be splashed into other decks. I don't think there's anything in this structure that really looks you know, key for a lot of different decks, unless of course you're playing a Pendulum deck that wants to use these scales 2 to 7 and you're not playing like Quill-Offs or something else for Pendulums. But it's an okay structure deck just because of Supply Squad. This card is so good in the game, but if you're not interested in even getting Supply Squad, I really don't see a reason to pick these up. There's not really anything that you can resell for a high value in here. Maybe the Ultra Dark Hole will be worth a couple bucks, but at the end of the day, you only have a chance to get it anyway. So let me know, guys, what do you think of the structure deck? If you felt like I missed out on any cards, hey, let me know in the comment section below. But I went over these twice, and look at this. Look how many normal monsters you get in here. Like, really? Like, that's way too many. I know there's support for the normal monsters, but for the most part, no one really plays normal monsters. Unless, of course, you're playing something like the Heretics, or maybe like Evil Swim with like a Rabbit. But Rabbit is still at 1 in the TCG, so it's a lot different in the OCG. But anyways, I felt like if anything, we should have gotten Torrential Tribute in the TCG, but that's a video for another day. But anyways, like I said, guys, let me know if you're going to pick up the structure deck, or do you think the structure deck is going to be something you're going to pass on, or if I missed out on any key cards that you guys think are really good that I should have mentioned. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes out.